I apologize, Ashley. I'm going to get it right, but today is just kind of crazy. Oh, Kennedy, I hope I have an answer. The rate my day's going. Ask me your question, darling. Andrea, yes, you did complete the video. Says you got number 5 wrong, but you don't understand why. Well, let me see what I can do here. Okay. Sorry, I have to go to a different screen to get to the questions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the question on number 5 is that you cannot replicate. So what it says is you cannot replicate an experiment you do with one person with another person because each person is different. That is false, because the thing is, the differences that make us humans, we need to account for those in our experiment. So you should do the same experiment with more than one person. And if you've completed it, you can do it again, because we talked about before how, right, yeah, right, sorry, no, I got lots of people. So yeah, so you want to do it because you want to make sure that the data you got is true, and that when someone else does the same thing, they get the same data. That's how you know something, you have good data. Does that make sense? Guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to be here all day if I start looking up who completed it or not, but it should tell you when you're done. If it comes right to me, so you should know. But you should know at the end you'll submit it. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, Annie, absolutely. So I apologize, I'm not trying to ignore anybody, but I do want to go ahead and move on, especially because technology apparently doesn't like me today. But you can send me an email if you're concerned about whether it's not done. Catherine, Jada, I'm so sorry. Let me see what we can do. Let's see what we can find and figure it out, okay? I'm gonna have to move on, I'm sorry. If you took it already and you're not satisfied with your grade, please keep in mind you do get 100 for completing it. If you want to redo it, because some people do, you know, sometimes you're like, I wanna make sure I mastered this, that I really understand it. You're welcome to do so. You just need to email me to reset it, and I will. The only downside is then it shows me you didn't do it. So just make sure that you actually go back and do it if we reset it for you, okay? And for those of you having trouble, I really, really, really would look into whether or not your computer has more than one Google account on it, or your device, and if it does, that's probably what's causing you the problems. Jada, send me an email and we'll talk, okay? But again, look into that, because if you have more than one Google account, it's going to cause these kinds of problems the whole school year. So you're going to have to maybe take off a login or something. Sorry, guys. I know it's not fun, but you know, change sometimes means we got to make differences, right? Alrighty. So hopefully you did get if you did get the video working and you got through it, hopefully you now have an Edpuzzle account. I know we're going to have some people that I will work with, I promise. But hopefully that kind of helped you to better understand research and to sort of feel like you have more understanding of why we do research and what it does for us. All right, so now we're going to move on, and I would like to know who would like to help Hagrid with an experiment. If anybody's like, who is Hagrid? Hagrid is a Harry Potter character. It doesn't matter if you know anything else about him. The question is, do you want to do an experiment? Who wants to try an experiment today? Anybody? Smiley face, thumbs up, green check. Ooh, I got a hand up. Go Maximilian. Yeah, all right. Hagrid, you're getting some volunteers here. Awesome, awesome. Look at that. Hands are up, thumbs up, smiley face in the chat box. I love it. Hagrid loves it too. Thank you. So we have our scientific method over here so that you can help to remember the steps. So Hagrid is interested in how people use language. Language informs our world. I mean, if you think about it, the sound of some words, maybe you like them better than others. It could even change your opinion on a subject. So the first question I want to ask you is, what step is Hagrid in? Based on the scientific method there, what step is he in? Yay, he's an observation. That's correct. And I would just like you to know that Professor McGonagall observes your thoughts and is impressed. So what should Hagrid do next? Now that he's observed, what should he do next? Research. Yes, Andrea, sorry. Yes, he's going to do good. He's going to research about his observation. Yes, Maimuna, go Dossie. You got it. Yeah, so that's the next thing he's going to do. So Hagrid hits the library, not really smacking it, but you know. And guess what he learns? He finds out that he's not the first person who thought about this, that words and shapes can be associated with one another. In fact, there's this German-American psychologist named Wolfgang Köhler, who's the first man to discover what's called the Buba-Kiki effect. All right? What do you think those words mean? Buba-Kiki. Anybody? Good guess, Ashley. Labeling, yeah, just the shape name. A love of language. Oh, I like it. Word and shape. Guys, Buba and Kiki mean absolutely nothing. They actually have no meaning whatsoever. And that's what he did, was he created these words. So what he would do is he would show people shapes and he would ask them to label each shape with 2 words he provided. And the words he gave were Buba and Kiki. That's where it comes from. They mean nothing. But what he saw was that even though these are nonsense words, they can still have this deeper meaning rooted in our minds based on the sound and the look of the word. So let me go ahead and show you the shapes that Köhler used, okay? When words mean nothing, that's right. Pardon me a second. Okay, so these are the 2 shapes that he used, this purple shape and this orange shape. SpongeBob comes to mind. Okay. And so I want to know, what are observations and ideas that you have about Buba and Kiki just by looking at the shapes? Like, what comes to your mind? Either about the words or the shapes or both? SpongeBob and Rugrats. Okay, so we get cartoons in our heads, slimy and painful. Cartoons come up, Annie? Slime. Ashley, you've got a feeling going on, okay? Like a firework, okay. Sam, interesting. One looks more aggressive than the other. Pardon me a second. Okay, I keep getting these things that pop up and I'm trying to make them stop. All right, so the orange one's kind of like a comic book thing. One is sharp, the other's soft. Okay, so you want to get away, Ashley, from both or just one of them? Both of them? Okay. I won't make it any bigger. It's okay. You can take a step back from your computer. I said so. The purple one reminds you of a germ. Oh, Sam, great question. Trying to figure out which one's which. Like that pow, yeah, like, you know, pow, bam, boom, that sort of thing. I like that. That's awesome. Sisters. Ashley, very interesting. What makes you think of sisters? Just with different edges? Okay. So they're kind of alike, but you can also see the differences? Yeah. Okay, so Andrea's already named them. Which one's Buba and which one's Kiki? All right, non-identical twins. Sure, absolutely, Mimuna. Okay, Ryan agrees. Okay, Sam, you agree with that too? All right, well, let's take a look here at the names. And I want to compliment you guys on your observations, because, you know, I asked this in one class and I think I got one person who said anything. And these are really interesting observations. Like, you're really kind of looking around for this. So I'm very impressed. I would give you a virtual high five if my camera would work. That's okay. Don't worry about the words, Annie. It's okay. Compliments are awesome. All right, so now Hagrid has to hypothesize. So what do you predict? And I ask, which shape do you think people will most commonly label as Buba? Okay, Annie, so with Buba, you're thinking flowy, kiki, spiky, sharp. Okay. The germy one. Okay, so we seem to be kind of in agreement, some of us, that the purple one is Buba. The germy one, I love that. All right, and so that would mean the shape that would most often be called Kiki would be, sounds like the sharp one to a lot of us. But here's a question. How many of you think that this shape could be equally labeled by all people? So let me explain, meaning that half the people might think that the purple is booba and half the people might think the orange is booba. Or maybe they wouldn't even care, like it wouldn't matter to them. You can call one booba, you can call the other one booba, they don't care. Booba like Bubbles. Okay, SpongeBob, Bubbles. Yeah, I see where you're going there. Yeah, the orange one, because it's kind of got kinks or sharp edges, Kiki. Yeah, kind of has that sound. What do you think? Andrea, you think that a lot of people think differently, so, okay. Do you think that means they'd be more likely to not really care or label it equally, or do you think they'd be less likely to? Okay, so just based on what you're seeing of general anecdotal research, Sam? Okay, okay. Uh-oh, I think I froze. I'm back, I think. Sorry, I froze. I'm back, I think. Okay, now can you hear me? I swear, this is really getting old here. Yeah, I froze. I'm sorry. I'm back. She's gone. All right. Well, let's really quickly, while the internet still appears to like me for a moment, talk about what would happen here. So I have to click to, oh, I have to click to get back. Hang on. I got to click back and forth till I get where I need to be. All right, well, if it was choosing to work for me, the presentation would tell you that Hagrid thinks that the majority of people will call Booba the purple one. That's his hypothesis. Oh, I'm still gone. Is that better? Am I back? Come on, internet. So what I was trying to say, what I've been trying to get out here, is that it won't let me show you this slide apparently, but Hagrid's hypothesis, his decision, is that the shape that people will most commonly label as booba is the purple shape. Okay, so this is his hypothesis. So now, you can't hear me again? Is that better? Okay, I am so sorry, my friends. Oh, I don't like internet today. Not my friend. Okay, good. All right, so Hagrid is thinking that Booba is going to be the purple shape. That is his hypothesis. Okay. So let's move on. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do, if it will work for me now. I am going to ask you guys in my psychology class to be my sample that I'm going to test. So the question I want to ask is, what is my population? Does anybody know? Yes, GCA students. Yeah, so all GCA students are going to be my population. Right, and you could say, you know, Annie, you could look at even as just my students. Sure, absolutely, but all of my students would be my population. But I was kind of going for GCA students in general. Oh, yay, Dossie. Okay, awesome. So if it'll let us do this, we're going to take a quick poll. So to do this, we're going to use our emojis or emoticons. For those of you who aren't familiar with them yet, because I know we have some people who just started, down at the bottom left-hand corner, there is a smiley face. You'll hover over that and choose the appropriate icon. So give me a green check if this shape should be booba. Give you a red X if this shape should be Kiki. And give us a turtle if you really don't care, if you have no opinion either way. It's totally up to you. And no one can see your answer but me. So what would you do? That's right. Care about things that mean nothing. So take a look. Is this shape Booba? Is this shape, give me a green check. Is this shape Kiki? Give me a red X. Or give me a turtle if you're thinking, I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. It is purple, that is true. That may have meaning for some people, you know, it may not have for others. Yeah, Ashley, absolutely. Maybe it's neither. Maybe you really wouldn't call it that in either of those names. You can use the turtle for that too. Favorite color, awesome. Huh, interesting. I don't know, Jada, that's cool. Booba has a deep sound, so that's what you would pick? Okay. Remember, it's up to you. No one sees your answer but me, and I'm not going to tell like, oh, so-and-so put this. No, nothing like that. Okay. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Okay, Dossie, yeah, it's, for some people it does. For some people it may not. So I'm going to give a moment longer, and I'm hoping that Alexander and Billy and Cheyenne and Dorrit and Rudy and Jamarius and Justin and Kaylee and Kenya and Maximilian and Ryan and Sovereign and Sydney will tell me their opinion. Would you call this shape Booba, green check? Would you call this shape Kiki, red X, or turtle, no opinion? Oh no, Ryan, if that happens, feel free to tell me. Okay, so yeah, you can just tell me in the chat box. I do know that happens, so if you're ever in a situation where you're like, I can't use the poll, just tell me in the chat box what you would say. Okay, so Ryan, we will know. And if you really don't want the world to know, you can tell me in private chat, although sometimes it takes me a while to get there, especially today. All right, so I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to take a look here at the feedback, if it'll open. Hold on, maybe my computer will stop fighting with me. All right, let me try that one more time. I heard someone put in some more feedback there, so I'm just going to make sure I get the most up to date. All right, and that should have copied to the whiteboard. It sure did. Awesome. Okay, so I got 15 people giving green checks and saying yes, they would put this shape as Booba, and 3 people saying red X, this shape would be Kiki. And it's interesting, this is actually the first class I've not had anybody use the turtle. So we all sort of had an opinion one way or another. And I should say 16 people said purple, right? I'm sorry, Ryan, I forgot to add you in there. No, Ashley, there's no wrong or right. This one happens to use opinion. It's more about collecting data on what you guys think in that experiment. All right. So now what we have to do is to analyze this data. I'm out. Is that better? Can you see me in chat maybe? All right. Oh, you hear me typing? So some of you hear, okay, well, I'm going to type and talk, so we'll see if that works. Okay, all right, you can hear me now. All right, so here's the deal. You're going to, in this document, you're going to get to 2 parts. There's section 1, there's section 2. When you finish section 1, do not click next, just stop. So Dumbledore wants Hagrid to tell you, stop at the end of section 1, okay? And I'm going to give you the document in a moment. I haven't given it to you. Don't panic because you don't have it yet. I know I haven't given it to you. It's okay. But that's what we're going to do as a Google document, okay? So we're just going to do the first part. Don't click next. Don't click submit, because we're going to talk about the 4 questions that you'll see. Now, I will address the fact that everyone asks me why their name is not on there. It's because the name is gathered because you use your Google accounts. The name will be automatically gathered. Okay? Don't click submit. No, when you finish your first section, just pause and wait. So here is the document in chat box. There is the document on the slide. I'm going to put 4 minutes on the timer, and then we will discuss the answers. Okay? That's right, no clicking next. Annie, that's why we're going to go over it. So this section, you shouldn't, because we'll be doing the answers together. So hopefully that makes you feel a little better. Yes, that's the timer. I know, I'm like, what? Because there's no ding anymore. I checked. Okay, it is different. So let's go ahead and talk about these questions. Excuse me a sec. I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay. That's right, I'm just snapping. You know, it's like a musical. No, I'm kidding. All right, so let's take a look at the first question. What is the independent variable I used in my experiment? I know there's no letters here, but you could put A, B, or C. What do you think in the chat box? Would you say it's A, the student who assigned the names to the shapes? B, the idea that words have different connotations as well as denotations? Or C, the different shapes shown and names offered? Okay. Looks like we're seeing some confusion. That's okay. Think about this for a moment. Hagrid is our experimenter, right? He's the person running the experiment. What did he change? Did he change the names and the shapes, or did he change the students? Remember, the independence variable is changed by the experimenter. Here's what I noticed. People are really confused between the difference between the experimenter changing things and cause and effect. If I'm asking for cause and effect, I'm actually asking for the dependent variable, right? The independent variable causes that effect. So what did Hagrid change to cause an effect? Well, let's think about it. Did he show you 2 different shapes and different names? Or did he show you different shapes and different names? Or did he show you students and tell them what to do? Yes, yes. So all of you who put C are absolutely correct. He changed the names and the shapes. That was what he changed intentionally. How you responded, that was the effect. And you guys are the dependent variable. So the correct answer there is the different shapes shown and names offered. So you should have letter C marked. Okay. Does that make any, does that help you any? Jada, the purple and the orange, the, see if it'll let me go backwards, it may or may not. Yes, I'm sorry. If I try to go backwards, it's going to give me a hard time. So we're going to stay here. I'm terrified to app share too right now. Yeah, the shapes of the booba, the purple shape and the orange shape, those are the shapes to which I'm referring. All right, what if during my experiment several students lost Wi-Fi or the teacher connection and could not participate? What type of variable would that be? While the Wi-Fi is annoying, it's not actually a variable, but you're correct. That is the confounding variable, letter B. That's something that we didn't anticipate, but it happened. I should anticipate it, but still. All right, the experiment I performed was good, but it had a flaw. What was it? Was it A, sample size was too small, B, not enough variables were given, or C, I did not observe or research before starting? Well, let's think about it. Did Hagrid do his research? Remember, he found out that Wolfgang Köhler created the booba shape and the kiki, or the purple shape and the orange shape. Yeah. So experiment was done. So letter C can't be correct. Did we have all our variables? Absolutely. So Christopher, you're right. And I saw a lot of you put it up. I just wanted to show you where we're getting the answer. The sample size is too small. I only have, what, 28 people in here? That's much too small for me to generalize what everybody's going to do. Now, there actually was a really interesting other flaw that someone pointed out that I never considered, and that was language. Someone said, what if in some language, booba sounds like a word that means like knife or something sharp? And maybe that in that culture, they would pick booba to be the sharp shape because to them it sounds like something sharp like a knife. So kind of interesting. Annie, this experiment has actually been done so many times, but we would have to do some research to find out if it's been done in other cultures. In the United States, typically the results have shown that people choose the purple shape to be booba. But isn't that interesting, Maimuna? I never thought about that. And another student was the one who pointed that out to me, that language and culture would shape us as well. So I thought that was neat. And yes, Annie, you're right. The sample size was too small. Ashley, less normal than more influenced by, like influenced in the average way by culture, if that makes sense. That's right, Merca. All right, true or false? Yeah, if Kiki means cloud, sure, Andrea, then maybe in their culture they'd pick the purple one because it looks like a cloud to them. That's a great point. All right, true or false? When an experiment has been performed, there is no point in performing it again. We actually talked about this earlier. True, you already know the answer, why try? False, it is possible there's an error or confounding variable. Yes, false is absolutely correct. You need to repeat every experiment so that you can see if you get the same results. Yeah, absolutely, like a smooth fruit. That's a great point, Ashley. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys now to go ahead and click the next button. This part you're going to do on your own, but unless the internet has, oh, wait, I forgot. Wait, stop. No, back up here. Okay, was Hagrid correct? Was his hypothesis not disproven? Did the majority of us choose booba for the shape? Yes, yay, Hagrid, you did it. Woohoo! Hagrid's very happy. All right, now you try to click the thing. Go ahead and click next. So if you do decide to try this at home, you can. I recommend a sample size of at least 20 people. It gives you a semi-accurate result that you could generalize. All right, so now we're going to do the rest of the lab, okay? Maximilian, this is for a grade. So if necessary, if worse comes to worse and it's giving you fits like that, you can download it and email me a PDF version of it. I've had students have to do that periodically. At this point, I don't know what to tell you. The internet does not appear to like me very much. But in section 2, once you click next, I give you 3 different either experiments or studies. And in some cases, you're watching a short video to answer questions, or in some cases, you're reading over our website to answer questions. I know it says we'll run through the answers. I will go through them. I'll give you a few minutes at the end that we can discuss them. Let's see, what time do we end? 12:10. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get started on it. If you feel confident about it and you're like, I've got this, and you want to click submit, you can. If you'd like to talk at the end of the time and just make sure on any questions or answer anything, you can do that too. Cross section, remember, Ashley, that's like a snapshot or a picture. Yes, all of them, Annie, all the questions. If you didn't do all of them, it will not let you submit. All right, so let me go ahead and set a timer. And I'll stop talking, but I will be here by chat. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be here to help. And then at the end, if anybody wants to go through, we'll talk about it. I know it says ticket out the door. That's an unfortunate choice of words. I didn't think about TODs when I did this. It just means that I want you to turn it in by the end of the day today. Yeah, Annie, like cross-section would be like at one point in time. Like what we did when I said, what music do you like? That was a cross-sectional survey. Resume the recording. Okay, all right, so the last one you're looking at? Well, let's do this. On questions 1, 2, or 3, does anybody have a question on those? Hopefully number 1 was pretty simple. Are we good? Smiley face, thumbs up, green check, something in the chat box. Yes, we're good. Yes, it is an experiment. It's not a case study. A case study would be if it was 1 or 2 people, but in this case it was a large group, and they've actually performed this multiple times. I still haven't found out exactly how long they let the children wait. I believe some I've seen say 5 minutes, some say 10 minutes, but it's not like hours or anything like that. Awesome, Alejandra. All right, how about 4, 5, or 6? Any questions on those? Feel free to tell me. I got a few people typing, so I'm going to wait just a second. Annie, number 4 actually is 2 correct answers. Does anybody know what they are? Maymuna, okay, we'll go to number 5 next. So fear is not one of them, no. B and D, very good, Annie. Yes, Kennedy, right. Obedience is 1. And then the other one's personal conscience. Very nice. Yeah, fear was not something they were testing. It did happen to be in the experiment, but what they were testing is the conflict between obedience to authority and personal conscience. Yeah. All right, so number 5, the dependent variable. This is the thing that shows the effect. What do you guys think? Imagine there's an A, B, C, or D. Would be most likely to be the dependent variable. What was affected by the change made? Anybody? Okay. Well, think about this. The experimenter was in control of the level of shock, right? But he didn't administer the shocks. So the independent variable is the level of the voltage. Who administered the shock? Yeah, Kennedy, there you go. Letter C, the teachers. Notice I put teachers in quotation marks. It's because they were actually the people who were the experimental test subjects, but they were experimenting. They weren't actually administering shocks. The person on the other end was just pretending, oh, that hurts. But he was just yelling because he'd see a light go on and he knew that the quote unquote shock was being administered. So the dependent variable here is the teachers. Yes, so they were changing the levels. That's what the independent variable was. The experimenter was changing or having them change the levels. The whether or not the teachers actually administered the shock, that's the dependent variable. All right, so hopefully number 6, we're good. Okay, oh good, okay. Awesome. Yes, A is correct on number 6. All right, how about 7 through 10? Any questions? Yay! The last one. Okay, yes, the last one. I know someone else asked me that too. Or maybe it was you, I'm sorry. Okay, if you didn't get through them all, it's okay if you don't finish it now. You can finish it before you can turn it into me by the end of the day. So I'll go through number 10 because this is the one that I think is the most confusing. True or false, this study shows that the internet causes children to have better reading skills. There is a trick word in that statement. What is the word that I cause? There is one type of experiment. Exactly, Annie. Only experiments show cause and effect. Is this an experiment? No. What is it? It's a longitudinal study. So as soon as you see that word cause, you're like, boom, false. Because you know that if it was a study, it cannot be cause and effect. So the answer would have to be false. Yep, good. See, you saw through my trick there. And we just answered number 7 as well. All right, number 8. Who can tell us what category the children did not show gains in? What did you pick? It's in the first sentence of point, click, and read. What do you guys think? Okay, Sam said A. Okay. Jada's not sure. Sam and Annie, you would be correct. That's what the children are looking at. If you look at that first sentence, they tell you that they need more information about critical evaluation, or they need more to learn more about critical evaluation of information. Kids, they asked the kids to look for the, what was it, the North Pacific tree octopus? An octopus in a tree? Uh-oh, did I freeze again? Sorry, guys. Looks like I did. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Okay. You're all paying attention to me so well. Okay. Thank you. So, I mean, guys, if you're telling kids there's a tree octopus, how many of you know of octopi that lived in trees? Obviously not. So these kids are not evaluating what they're reading. They're just looking for it. All right. Very quickly. Number 9, what does the study suggest children need help learning? Well, think about what we just said. Kids thought that there was such a thing as a tree octopus. So clearly they need what? Letter D, reading comprehension skills. All right, my friends, if you didn't get it finished, that's okay. Turn it in by the end of the day. But it is 12:10 and it's Ashley's birthday, so I got to send you guys all out to get lunch, right? So thank you, my friends, for your hard work today, and I will see you tomorrow at 1:20. You're welcome. Have a great day.